right. So, if you're listening right now, you are blessed and highly favored. You are anointed, and you are all so many things. But more than anything, you're just lucky because this is the third time that we're doing this podcast.
Number three, number three.
This is take 3.
Yes.
We had some serious technical difficulties, but we are steadfast, we are encouraged, and we are just moving forward because I am here with Dylan Lopez, and we are just trucking through this. So let me go into this little thing that I do at the beginning of everything, and we will get started. So welcome to your weekly buzzkill, where we give you facts and feel-good conversations with phenomenal people. Alliterations aside, though, today we have a DJ, a musician, a kindred soul, an artist above all, and an old friend of mine, Dylan Lopez Dylo. Thanks so much for being with us for nearly 3 hours.
Yeah. Happy to be here.
Yes.
Happy to do this again.
Hope you're still happy to be here.
I still got it in me.
All right, awesome. So, talk to me about what's been going on. How's the music life treating you? How's the electronic music? I know you said you referenced it as underground.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that appropriate to say?
I would say we could call it electronic,
Okay.
but there's a lot of subgenres underneath that where underground would be the specific genre, but we can refer to it as electronic.
Okay.
That works.
All right. Because I'm trying to figure out. I'm as an outsider looking in on what you do as an artist, and I want to figure out what the I guess actual community is like. Like, I know we were talking, we said it a couple times, but I saw you when I was a senior in Seaside, and you were like a freshman, and I was like, dude, already this kid, and like looking back on it, I was like, from that time, you were already interested in electronic music, you were already into that whole scene.
Yeah.
So from that point, how is your taste on music changed?
Good question. Throwing a curveball compared to our last question.
Yeah, I'm trying to change it up.
Very nice. So there's a lot of influences that affected my musical selection, and I think for starters, I mean, I'm blessed to live in such a beautiful area. Pretty much born and raised in West Patterson,
Right.
And being in North Jersey and being so accessible to New York City, we really are in a beautiful area where we have so many different cultural influences, whether that be music, whether that be art, whether that be food, no matter what that be, we're in this area where we're not limited to what we have accessible to us, as opposed to if we were out in the middle of Montana,
Right.
just in the mountains or whatever.
Where we get like Toby Keith.
Yeah. So a lot of things that changed musical preference over time, and I think the main thing to identify is just a personal experience. Personal experience with attending certain events, personal experience with meeting different artists, different producers, different DJs,
Right.
picking up on their vibe. How do they live their life? How does their life, their culture, their lifestyle, their words, how does it all reflect with the sounds that they're blessing people with,
Right.
That they're making from their brain and putting into music, into sets, and playing in front of people, and making people feel better at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And
So can you like run us through a little bit of what your creative process is like? Maybe like from like start to finish. What does it look like for like when you're putting up a track on, let's say, SoundCloud?
Okay, cool. Well, just for starters, I haven't released any music yet.
Oh.
I've been focusing mainly on, honing my craft of DJing,
Okay.
but there's definitely a creative process entailed
For a set.
for a nice set. And a lot of it comes with practice, of course,
Okay.
and experience. But I want to say that process usually starts with inspiration.
Okay.
A general, sorry.
No.
You're good?
Yeah.
A general emotion. And the current emotions that I've been trying to pursue is just calmness and being relaxed. I've been getting into yoga. I've been doing a little more meditation.
Really?
And I'm trying to pursue that ambient calmness, relaxing sound, where it could also be background music. It's not so much music that you're going to hear at main stage of Electric Daisy Carnival
Right.
set, but I want
and
some.
that's what sticks out to me a lot about your the music that I've heard. Like I listened to your set. I remember maybe a year ago when I first started one of my blogs. Like I asked you if I could use some of your stuff from one of your sets, and that's what stuck out to me about your stuff was that it was really relaxing. That's probably the best way to describe it. So
Yeah.
I think that separates you from a lot of the stuff that you hear at those carnivals. That's just very like build up, build up,
Build up, build
yeah.
up. Wait, how's it go? We like long build-ups and disappointing
disappointing
drops.
drops.
Yep.
Right.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, with music and with the direction I'm trying to take things, I mean, the main thing I'm trying to focus on is like emotion and a message. What emotion are you trying to convey? What message are you trying to send to your listeners? And right now, it's calm. It's just, I mean, I'm gonna say this. It's very difficult to put into sound, but living in the present moment and just accepting the way things are, not needing to overdo things or just.
And I don't say this in the sense of the genre, but I think it's almost it's to describe that almost like a trance-like feeling.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in the sense of like trance music.
Of course.
I just mean that in the sense of like, okay, you can listen to this and focus on something.
Of course.
And I love that. I love that about your stuff.
Yeah. There's so much more that I have to learn still about music, but when it comes to putting this set together or just feeling this emotion that I want to send, a lot of it, which I want to say applies to other artists, is what they're currently going through in their lives. What they're experiencing. Do they have rough life, tough life? I mean, where they're from, how they were raised, who they hang out with, what they do, what they eat, what they drink, what they see. And this all affects what people are playing and what they're, especially when it comes to making music.
Right.
What they're making and the type of emotions they're conveying to other people.
Right.
So I think all of these things that are going on in your life really affect that set you're doing, that set you're planning or that track that you're making. And it's good to just be aware of what's making you happy in your life and what's not making you happy, and taking the good from the good and applying it into something, a craft, a profession, a job or whatever that may be to really get that self-fulfillment that I believe everyone needs.
That's so sick. And it's funny that you say self-fulfillment. Like, I feel like there's like a lot of almost positive activist kind of undertones in a lot of the stuff that you do. Even the shows that you put on, like Music is the Answer, stuff like that. Well, can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, so Music is the Answer is a event planning non-for-profit organization that I work with two great friends, Johnny Restrepo and Guy Ramos. And what it is we just really wanted to make things a little different with throwing events in the electronic dance music community. And how do we go about doing so? We focus on charities.
That's sick.
Each event that we do, whether we book New York locals, New Jersey locals, or international artists, we try to, well, not that we try, we try to convey the message to people that are so used to going out and just going out for themselves, for their personal reasons, their personal escapes or personal whatever that may be.
Escapism and just general.
We try to shift that sensation of going out into going out for a purpose.
Right.
Keyword purpose. Cool.
So I love that you say for a purpose, because I think that brings you right into kind of like the entrepreneurial mindset that I guess brings you to the back end of the music. It's not so much only about the music, but it kind of brings you into the all right, well, what do the events look like? What is the event's purpose? Why are the people coming here? It's not only for the music. But what is the whole event structure?
Keyword on the why.
Right.
Why is this something that's worth someone's time? why is it worth the investment of whatever they're paying at the door or whatever drinks they're buying at the bar. And I feel like it's still something new for people to fully comprehend and at the same time trust that we are doing good with what we're given. But it's something that eventually is going to, I feel, just skyrocket with people's trust and people's support.
Right, and it's an interesting business model because you wouldn't innately think, like I know when I saw the flyer, I was almost like, not put off, but it was something like, it's almost hard to trust. Like, okay, I'm going to go party, and that party is going to benefit something like, it's not something that you would almost pair together, but the fact that you would think of that.
And sometimes when it's even paired together, in other situations, people may ask questions like, is it really fully paired? Or are people just, are they just saying, is his name just on a flyer, an organization?
Right.
Yeah. You're getting a phone call, I'm getting a phone call at that same time. Cool. Still good?
Yeah, we're good.
Nice.
Yeah, I totally understand what you mean. I think that there's so much to be said about having that. You want to take
No, you're good. Go.
We're all getting phone calls here. We're busy men,
Yeah, of course.
No, but I think there's so much to be said about charity and pairing those charities together with something that's a cohesive business model. I know Gary talked about that a lot.
I love Gary.
Yeah,
Gary's the man.
Right. So I think there's so much to be said about pairing those two things together and doing it in a way that's creative and fresh, and understanding that people have that they don't have to come to those events, but they'll do it if they trust you.
And even if they can't make it, they're still willing to donate something.
Right.
Whether it's a jacket, whether it's just a small amount of money that we can put towards helping others, helping those that are in need, animals, whatever that may be, people with diseases.
Awesome.
It's something that it feels special at the end of the day, and
Right.
I think it's gonna probably take a couple more events for people to really realize the potential this has.
Right.
I think we've done 7 or 8 events in the past year or two. I mean, it's crazy. Life just goes by so quick. But we've done events in New York. We've done events in Detroit. We've done Jersey City. We've actually done 2 events in Tokyo.
Really? So you've been to Tokyo?
I have not been to Tokyo.
Okay.
My partner Guy went there, and we had some very talented acts perform there.
Okay.
At one of the biggest clubs, biggest electronic music clubs in Tokyo.
Oh, that's sick.
And then in 3 or 4 weeks, we're partnered up on an event in St. Martin.
Oh, sick.
SXM Music Festival is doing I think it's a 3 or 4 day event, and we have one of their headlining events, I believe it's on that Friday, as well. So that's going to be a good time, and it's all for a good cause, and that's what makes it special, is that we're legit about it. For Christmas time, we did an event early December, and one of our artists, Bill Patrick, actually came with us to donate small care packages to the homeless of New York.
Right.
So he joined us in giving people water, food, gloves, umbrellas, hand sanitizer, baby wipes, soap, all these little things that are essentials to living on the streets.
Wow.
And we had these drawstring bags, and we went out and passed them out, and it was just great. Not just booking an artist, picking them up from the airport, taking them to the hotel, taking them to the gig, taking them back to the hotel 8 a.m. the next day when you're tired. But it was nice because that was the first time we actually got our artists involved.
Oh, wow.
And that opened up, opened up the window for us to realize that, hey, we can do a lot more with what we're doing now.
Right.
If we go about it right, working with the right people and doing it, for the right reasons.
Which just goes to show, like, it's so much more about relationships, which I was talking with Sal, who was on last week, about this, that, business is so much more about the kind of relationship that you solidify with the people that you work with, more than it's about the money or it's about anything else, really. If you open up the right kind of relationships, it can go so much further, and you can have so much more fun, and it could just be so much more entertaining and fruitful than anything else. So, I mean, like, I listened to a little bit of Bill Patrick. It's funny that you mentioned him in particular. Nice. And he's like incredible at what he does, but he just seems like such a chill guy.
Very chill, very chill. And what really struck me as such a good trait for him is just, sometimes you see these artists playing these huge festivals, and at least me starting out, you look at them, that they're like,
Right.
there's such a gap in distance of, is this person even a human at times? You know what I mean? Like if I saw Gary Vee like at a deli, I'd be like, holy shit, it's Gary. Not like, hey, what's up, Gary? Nice to see you, man. I really love your work. But people like to be treated like people.
Right.
They don't want to,
really true.
well, most artists, most professionals want to be treated like people.
Except for Mariah Carey.
Yeah, or Kanye West. Yeah.
Kanye West. The two exceptions.
But yeah, he was just a humble individual where, it was like, all right, Dylan, find more artists that are like this, that honestly care, that honestly want to help, that honestly, have done things in the past. Like he's even, he's helped his mother in the past work with disabled children before he even got into DJing. And these are things we never even knew about him until we actually put the time aside to actually do something with him more than just playing a gig.
Wow.
And it was a very special moment and a pivotal moment where we're like, all right, guys, we're on to something now. Let's continue to keep working hard and, do it all for all the right reasons.
Wow. And so that's been like your journey as an artist. It's been more than music. It's been like this whole three-dimensional, almost like, setting up events and then pretty much building the platform that you're going to put your music on.
Yeah. Well, this focus is mainly towards charity work. My music, my DJing gigs is intertwined, but I'm not playing every party.
Okay.
I'll play an occasional party. For music is the answer, but musically wise, there's a whole series of chain of events that led to where I'm at now, but
I heard twice.
Which we heard already twice, which we'll get to. But yeah, I mean, the beautiful thing about working with my partners is that we share that same passion for music.
Right.
We share that same passion for music, and that's why I advise to anyone who's starting off in a new business venture, just make sure you're working with people that you don't just look at as just, oh yeah, it's the guy I work with,
So good.
But at the same time, you don't want to intertwine direct family with business, so there's this happy medium. But at the same time, if you really feel a strong connection with someone and that their intentions are to grow and to learn and to give, then sooner or later things are going to work out.
Right.
If the intentions are there and the work ethic is there and you have those two variables taken care of,
right,
sooner or later things are going to work out.
Yeah, I think it's a big part of what your goals are, like what your DNA is as far as business, because like I have close friends of mine that are two brothers and they run a barbershop, right? One is very much goal-oriented, detail-oriented, kind of like they have to have the structure down and they're step by step. But then the other one is very lofty, big picture, always trying to find new ways to market and to kind of scheme things. So, but they work well side by side together. I think we're in this new kind of weird phase in our society where business and family are almost essential. And not to say that you can't do business with your family, or
of
you
course.
can.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of like, it has to be the right family member.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like you can't do business with your sister that you fight with all the time.
Yeah, or your crazy uncle.
Your crazy uncle that's always stealing money from your mom. It's got to be the right family member.
Intentions need to be there.
Yeah. So I think it's this weird moment where it's like, if it's the family member that you trust, and you guys have been through everything
keyword.
together.
Yeah, it's gotta have trust.
Yeah.
Without trust, that's why I even do it.
Yeah.
To begin with, that goes for anything: work, relationship, anything.
Exactly.
Gotta be able to trust each other.
Yeah, and you gotta be able to like yell at each other and then get back to square one the next time.
You gotta put the ego to the side.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing. I'm trying to work on. Not saying I have a big ego, but just completely eliminating it, where things eventually will turn out for the better if if you realize that it's not just me, it's not just I, it's all of us together. We're all in this together. So let's value everyone's opinion.
And we were talking about this in our last 2 takes. But you have this innate ability to kind of make these huge jumps, these huge decisions based on the self-awareness that you have of of whatever you're going through in that moment. Like you made it a leap, and I'm giving some of it away just for the sake of time. But
of course,
you made this huge leap going from your college in William Patterson in Jersey to your college in West Virginia, based on, you know, all right, oh, my parents want me to go to school for business, but I want to DJ, so I'm going to go to the biggest party school so I can DJ. And then you went from like, okay,
cool plan, right?
Yeah, like phenomenal plan. Like I wish I was that tactful, you know, tactical with my thinking. And then you made another huge leap where it's like, okay, I have this whole party kind of event planning business down, and you made that leap from like, all right, I don't want to do event planning every single weekend, so you just step back and you're like, I'm just not going to do it anymore. I'm going to focus on my craft. Yeah. Like those are just huge, gigantic mental leaps that I think takes mental strength. And could you just talk us through like that mental strength? Where does that mental strength come from?
I give a lot of credit to my parents, to my family. From my grandparents to my father, my father, they're just such hard workers, and we're instilled with just a hard-working mentality, which, I'm blessed to have. I thank God for it because, I give a lot of credit to my work ethic.
Right.
And I try not to procrastinate with anything. And I try to really just set long-term goals and break those down into short-term goals. Your goals aren't always going to be reached on the exact deadlines that you make on your calendar, but at the end of the day, if you know more than you did yesterday, then it's a good day. It's a good day. And that's a lot of the ethic that was instilled with me with my father and teaching me, with basketball and practice, there's always someone working harder.
That's so true.
So, if you want to go out and you want to party all night and say, oh, tomorrow I'll get to it, but then the next day you're hungover and say, oh, well, maybe I'll get to it on Sunday, and then Sunday's your only day off to relax, and you got to force something out of you to do something on your day off that you want off from everything, it's a challenge.
That's so true.
So, main advice to anyone is just, you want something, do something little today. Read an article. Open up a book.
Right.
Go to the library. See what they have. You'll find something that'll catch your interest.
Read some Mark Twain.
Yeah, whatever that is, just do something. In my situation, if it's a rough day and I'm having a stressful day and things aren't going right, which I'll get to about my job or anything, or just anything in general, I will, go in my little work area and play some records. And I find that to be my therapy. I find that to be my release. And it just happens to be that my therapy and my release, my craft and my passion are all aligned, but it took a lot of series of events for them to align to where I can find that release in something that I love doing, that I want to, pursue a passion, pursue a career eventually for one day.
Right.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I think it takes a lot of kind of hammering away at the junk in your life to be able to see, okay, what is my passion really, and what is my release, and how can I make those things kind of fit the mold of my life. Yeah. It takes a lot of hammering away at your own conscience and at your own like skill set to just be able to be like, okay, well, like for myself, I really do enjoy art. And I enjoy music too, but it doesn't, like, I'm never gonna be Bruno Mars, and it took me so long to really look myself in the mirror and just say like, okay, I am so much better at design, but I can go away into my room and just play guitar and be okay with that, and that is my release. But my passion is to make things look like a new version of themselves, and that's branding, that's design, that's making old things new and exchanging ideas, and that's just the abstract version of design and branding and advertising and all that stuff. Like I genuinely find this craving, this passion to do that. So I think that when you take those things and you kind of put those all in a line, I think life becomes a lot more simple when you kind of spearhead all that into one place and say, okay,
very well said.
Yeah,
simple. Less is best, and I just want to just emphasize on the word release, because life isn't easy for anyone.
Very much.
Maybe 1% of people live a very easy life where it's all figured out for them.
Right.
So we all have our own obstacles, but the sooner in the game we're able to find that release,
right,
and the sooner that we find a release that is a healthy release,
Right.
you know, the right release.
Very, very important.
You're really able to have an easier. It's easier to focus. You know, you're able to process thoughts more. You're able to think about things that you may have pushed off to the side when you want to think about them, because if thinking maybe gets stressful, or planning, or anything that's entailed with pursuing, your career or your craft, you have something to always fall back on.
Right.
And know that, like, all right, when stuff gets crazy, Dylan, go play some music, go play some records. It'll all be well.
Yeah.
And
So good.
it's crazy how everything aligned and got to that point in time. But, you ended off your beautiful response on, simple.
Right.
Simple. And sometimes we get in this mix of, just making things so difficult and making things more than what they are,
Right.
by overanalyzing. And that is my nickname at my day job. I'm the overanalyzer. It's all right to certain extents.
Yeah. Some things need to be
Some things need to be thought out a little more than others.
Yeah.
Some things don't. I'm working on that. But less is best, just I like to make a list, and something I can actually look at of, things that are going on in my life, even thoughts. One thing I want to start doing more of is keeping a journal. I hear that's great. When you wake up in the morning, look at that. Wake up in the morning, your first 15, 20 minutes, first thoughts come to your mind. It can be anything. You can write the same word 50 times in a row. It doesn't matter. Just keep writing that full page.
Yep.
And although I have not even come close to doing it every day, I was cleaning out my...
it really is therapeutic.
Yeah, I was cleaning out my bookshelf the other day, and I saw some journal entries from college, and I was like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah, it's revealing.
Holy shit, Dylan! Like you're still thinking about the same shit.
Yeah.
Start making music. But yeah, I mean, it's even for something like that. I looked at it and I said, you know what? Yes, making music was such a high priority. There's things you got to figure out, and that's one thing I want to emphasize on. Like, you can't just put everything to the side to do what you want to do. You need to have a plan. You need to have a realistic plan that will intertwine with your dreams one day.
Right.
You can always have great dreams. The bigger the dreams, the better. And you got to be real with the way life is and with the way things unfold. And, working towards aligning those is exactly where I can say where I'm at right now in my life.
That's awesome.
Taking my huge dreams and my just standard conventional, American citizen living, job,
Right.
do whatever you got to do.
Paying
taxes, Uncle Sam, Sally Mae, it's all
Navient
fun.
now.
Navient, Great Lakes now is another one,
Oh,
private
gosh.
loaner, it goes on. But trying to align those, and I think so far, things are falling into place where I'm happy, I'm content with where things are, and there's always room for improvement. But
Awesome.
simple, keeping things simple and not trying to do, too many different things at once.
Right.
It is a big thing, because sometimes you just get lost in the day-to-day routine of juggling so much. When who knew that my release, my passion, and where my heart is with music all fall in the same category, which I didn't know a couple of years ago.
Right.
I didn't know. I was just trying to juggle everything and try to please others and do all these other things to, not figure out what's needed to, be happy.
Right. I think that's an awesome spot to be in, and an awesome spot to take a quick break.
Cool.
When I come back, I want to ask you some quick fire questions.
Cool.
And I think we'll try and wrap up.
Take 3.
Take 3. If you own a business, if you own a company, if you have a personal brand, make sure you check out angelmediabranding.com, where we're more than design. We see your purpose. If you're in need of any kind of branding, video, or all-around artwork, let Angel Media know. Their expansive team will be able to help you with your brand, and no matter what your next level is, we will help you get there, no matter what that next level is. All right. So, Dylan, Dylo, do you consider yourself an artist or an entrepreneur?
Both.
Both.
Both, best of both worlds.
Awesome.
I believe they will always intertwine for anyone, because, you know, if you are an artist, you know, that's you. You know, yeah, you can work in an orchestra and be a part of something bigger, but your instrument, your craft is a business. It's entrepreneurship that you're pursuing.
Dope.
Yeah.
Do you think music is hard work or an escape? You kind of answered that one.
It's both.
Yes.
Great question, though.
Yeah.
Great question.
Top musicians. Top 5 musicians that are alive.
Cool. That are alive. Oh, that's a challenge.
Yeah.
Wow, throwing a curveball at me. Well, I've been doing a lot of focus on music history, where I guess we're gonna have to count out Mozart and Beethoven and Bach, since they aren't alive.
Right.
But realistically, musicians-wise, I'm gonna have to say Oscar Peterson, jazz musician. I've developed a strong appreciation for jazz in just this past year. And I also came across him by looking at artist interviews by one of my favorite artists, Dan Guti. He was asked the same question, and I was very interested and kind of intrigued that he didn't mention electronic dance music artist or musician. He really picked someone in a total different genre, and this guy is very respectable. He plays his live sets, makes his song beats on the fly. His performances are phenomenal. And once I saw that response, I'm like, all right, though, maybe it's time to listen to something outside of house music, to gain some inspiration from.
Huh. Have you heard of Corey Henry?
No, I have not.
He's phenomenal piano player, like keyboardist.
Cool.
He's one of the best. He's one of the best around right now. He's like modern, so he's like playing all over New York. He's in Brooklyn a lot. I saw him in Brooklyn in this little like gospel church.
Wow.
And he was playing with a whole bunch of random people. There was like three dudes from like an Orthodox Jew background that were there, and they did this whole like ensemble thing. And so I think it would be also like, he's pretty attainable. So if you ever get a chance to even like kick it with him, I'm sure it probably wouldn't be that hard to do. You'd probably even get some of his stuff and just like throw it into like a mix or something like that.
Very nice. Yeah, that's one thing I want to incorporate, is like instrumentation into my releases that will come out eventually. And yeah, I mean, that's what I really respect is the craft of just musicianship, and just really honing in on mastering something.
Right.
And you're never really a master of something, because there's always more to learn, but this sounds like someone I'm definitely interested in meeting and picking his brain for a little bit.
Awesome. I'll definitely check out Oscar Peterson.
Cool. Yeah.
Oh, quick, before I get to the last one, what was it like playing Pachas' last ever The End?
Oh wow, that was a fun time. So yeah, my good friend Guy, he manages Danny Tenaglia, who's a very big, reputable DJ. He played the headlining set on the main room. He's like, hey, they got some open slots in the basement if you're willing to play. And I said, I've never played in the basement before, but I'd be more than happy to play there, considering this is such a prominent and staple in the dance music community. They've had, I don't know how long their run was, but it was almost 10 years, I think. With maybe even more, with good parties and solid events, where playing the event, although it was a short set, I think it was like an hour and a half, it was an energy that I haven't really experienced there ever, and I've been there a couple times, where it's just like things were coming to an end, and the overall vibe was very positive. And people were more of in a reminiscing, like, oh my God, this place has had such a large impact on our lives and our development. Some people may say, oh, well, did it really help the scene out and whatever? But the fact is, it had a solid run, and it even influenced, up and coming DJs and artists like myself, seeing artists play there. So to go to this place when I was, 18, 19, 21 years old. And to play it 2 years after that, last year, it was just like the closing party. It was, I felt special in there. Yeah. And it was a great party. Danny Tenaglia had an amazing set. a lot of good people there, a lot of faces I haven't seen in a long time. So it was a nice experience bringing that chapter to an end, and I look forward to what the future awaits. But it was a great time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That was when I saw the flyer, the post that you put up for that. I was like, that is mind blowing.
Yeah.
I was happy. I was ecstatic.
Yeah, it was cool, man. It was nice because we had there was a lot of talent on there that much talent on a single flyer you don't see that much, and there was a lot of talented local artists that were on there that I was happy to share the bill with, as well as share the decks with too. Yeah. Because I've only been around in this area I think it's only been like 2 years since I've been back from school, so I've only played a handful amount of events and parties where that event, it was like, wow, like you're part of something with a lot of artists rather than just playing with 2 or 3, 4 artists. Wow. Yeah. So it was cool.
Awesome, man. Dude, well, thank you so much for stopping by, bro.
Of course, man. It's been a while, man. We had to catch up.
I know, man. And like I said, I owe you a night out, bro, because I know this was like a
hey, lucky number 3.
Lucky number 3, right?
Lucky number 3.
So please tell us where we can find you, all the information that we need about you, so that we can find you on the internet.
Cool. Well, I'm happy you asked. Right now, you can friend request me on Facebook. My artist name, it's Dylo, D-Y space L-O. On SoundCloud, if you type in Dylo, one word, you'll be able to find me as well. Definitely, keep in touch with me. If anyone wants to reach out and has any additional questions or anything, feel free to reach out. Expect some releases in the near future. Not putting a deadline on things. I'm going to do it when my gut tells me it's right. Okay. But if you guys are ever interested in linking up or meeting or even working on some potential projects together, I'd be more than happy to work with anyone, as long as the intentions are in the right place. Yes. I'm willing to do whatever it takes.
Awesome, man. Awesome, bro. Thanks so much for stopping by.
Thank you so much, man. Cool.